Whenever you get to the campsite, you want to level your camper. Sometimes you have extremely difficult terrain if you're not going to the normal spot you usually go. So if you do that, or you have a manual crank, it's going to save you a little bit of time and effort, and just be able to keep this stabilizer nice and stabilized. And with the Stromberg Carlson Base Pad Extreme, this is going to give you a lot more height than some of the traditional pads that we offer here at eTrailer. One of the best benefits of the Base Pad Extremes are for your fifth wheels, and especially this right here. So as these start to extend, they're going to get a little bit less stable. So the idea here is we aren't going to have as much tubage out. What we can do is raise this up a little bit more and put these underneath, and it's going to be a little bit more stable, and it will prolong the life of your jacks if you're constantly having them almost completely maxed out. Just by putting 2 of these underneath our stabilizers, we are putting a whole entire foot back into its housing. So that's going to be huge for stabilization. This is going to be great, especially if you are on some uneven or odd terrain. If you have to have all these completely out, you're going to feel the sway. But just by having these, you don't have to do that, and it's not going to damage your equipment. This is saving me a lot of time and hassle, just because it's just a decent amount more rotations to get down to my old pad that was really short, but this one's about 7 inches tall and it's about 10 inches wide in diameter on top. So for my 8-inch pad right here, it works great, and it's going to have a lot more surface area, and it is made of polycarbonate, so it's basically like bulletproof glass. Not going to fade, not going to crack, and it is going to have a 6,000 pound capacity. And the nice thing about it is, if you are in an extreme situation, wherever you may be, maybe by the river, you can go ahead and take this down here, and you can fit it in and stack them on top of each other. With this, it's going to be about 12 3/8 of an inches tall, and it is going to break down that capacity to about 3,500 pounds. As you can see, we have a lot of structure on the inside, so it's going to be plenty strong, and it is going to have a 12-inch diameter base, so it's going to be a little bit bigger than the top, which is good. So it's going to spread that out. Definitely a lot more surface area than what I was dealing with before. And these might get a little slick if you are putting them out or taking them in when it's raining. So we do have little holes here, and you can go ahead and just put your finger in there just so you can carry them around if it's slick. But they're not that heavy at all. They're very, very lightweight, and they will stack. So whenever you put them into a storage compartment, you just stack them up, put them in there, done deal. They are kind of bulky, so depending on what kind of storage you're working with, it's going to determine how well you're going to be able to put them away. But with this, you know, all I need is 4 for this whole entire setup. So with that, it doesn't really take up a whole lot of space. You know, 12 inches on each side. They go up right next to each other, so about 2 foot wide, 2 foot long, and then of course it's going to be about 12 3/8 tall. So it fits in our storage compartment pretty well. You can either just grab one of them for your trailer. You can grab 2. We also have kits for quantities of 4 and of course quantity of 6. So depending on how many stabilizers you have on your rig, you can grab accordingly. Or if you're going to use it on a trailer, we have this little hole right here, and this is just going to be for that little jack stand on the front by your coupler of your trailer. You might be wondering why you would only need one. Well, if you have something like this, regardless if it's a camper or a trailer, you can use it for the center jack to jack it up. It has a nice little hole in the middle for it to sit down. It's not going to slide around anywhere, and it is going to have a diameter of 2 5/8 of an inch. I think there's a lot of benefit to just raising that surface up when you're using a jack like this, just because as this tube starts to go down, it gets a little bit more wobbly. So if we can keep it in that tube as much as we can by lifting this up a little bit, that is always going to be a lot more stable. It's easier on your equipment, and if I were to compare it to one like this, I just like the bigger base just because, 1, it's going to spread it out a little bit more. 2, it is about the same height, but I like the looks of this, and this just gives me a little bit more peace of mind. Here we have a couple different options. One reason why I like these is all you need is 2 of them to stack up, and you'll be able to get a lot more With this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them, and we're a little bit higher up, but all we need is 2 to even get higher up than that. I like this material better, and of these 2, I definitely like these just because I need less of them, and these can get lost and yada yada yada. I usually need a decent amount of lift. It's gonna make it easier on me. One thing that this pad has a little bit over this pad is just the fact that you can keep these on your landing pads whenever you're going down the road. You don't have to store them, so if the rubber smell is something you don't want, you can just keep them on. But also, if you have these on and you need a little bit more lift, you can go ahead and just grab these and it'll work great. So just getting your trailer camper level is definitely something you want to do, and we have a lot of different options, but these are definitely ones that I will have, and I'll probably use them in conjunction with another pad. And that'll do it for a look at the Stromberg Carlson Base Pad Extreme, and I'm Adam with eTrailer.